You gotta look at the date too.
It's February 20th.
You said the 19th.
No, I said 2019. Don't say that, honey. I don't like to say it. I'm not that far gone.
I don't know about that.
Okay, at 19:09, we're going to bring this to begin. And so we'll call to order at this time. I'm going to introduce the board members so you know who's up here that you'll be discussing and talking to and getting a little bit of information for. We have our secretary right down here, incognito right now. So she is with us. So that's Erica. The vice president is just now walking in and shaking hands. So that's important.
Shaking hands.
We got Frank here, that's the assistant operations officer. We have our, thank you, our safety officer is sitting right here, United States Marine, that's Jack. And we have Captain Albert, our second vice. We also have our chaplain, JB.
Observe the chaplain.
One of the things I'm going to bring up, I'm going to read something real quick because we're going to get this thing started as soon as possible because I got to open the seat down at the end here. Okay, this is to U.S. Army Captain Veteran. He's Tori. You're Searles, but how do you say your middle name? Burrell. Okay, with pride, integrity, honor, and respect, the position as the Board of Directors Lead Operations Officer at this time belongs to you. So what I'm going to ask you to do is if you could come and take a seat up here with us. Tori was at the last meeting. We had it open for a spot for the Operations Assist. But at the time through this whole process, our operations officer decided he had some other personal reasons that he needed to step down and take care of. So at the time we called Tori up, we did a vote, the vote was conclusive, and we voted you into the position as operations officer. So I want to thank you for that. This goes right over to Tori. The position that you're in is a very important position. We have Memorial Day that's coming up in about 3 months away, all right? Which means we're going to have to go over a lot of different things that have to be done during the ceremony and get you up to snuff and up to speed with this. So I just want to let you know that we will be discussing some things at a later time. With that, we also, today, it breaks my heart, but we also have an announcement that we have to have from our right now current standing vice president that he's going to bring up to the crowd and kind of get an idea of how this is going to play off. So if you could go ahead and announce yours as well.
Yes, so it has been brought to the attention of the board as well as myself that the current duties at hand, being vice president, do require in fact me to be able to monitor and control the finances of the. That being said, in the professional world as a financial advisor, it is forbidden for me to manage the finances of any other organization other than those that are my clients. In other words, I can serve in any capacity I want, although I cannot be responsible for those finances. So with holding the allegiance to the better of the board and the right side, I have decided to effectively step down from the vice president position so that the board can have in place a vice president that should the time come that they have to step into the presidential role, that they will in fact be able to control the finances of this board. So I will not be resigning from the board. I will just simply be opening my role to an election, at which point we will be looking for a new vice president, and I will be stepping into another role with the board that's going to allow me to serve in which capacity that I will not be held at a fiduciary standard for monitoring and managing the finances of the board. Does that raise any questions?
If there's any questions from the council out here, you can go ahead and bring it up here. But one of the things that's very, very important, when you take the role on, and I wish I would have known this a long time ago, as a vice president, or as a president, we never had this situation. Our vice president that was before him is sitting back here, Freddie, thank you, back, and I should say over here. But the position, he's never been in a position. Our last treasurer was the treasurer of this board for 15 years. All right, then he wanted to step down because 15 years later, he's gotten a lot older, and he says he needs to step down. But when you go through our bylaws and our regulations, that states out plain and simple, That's why you're an executive key holder as president, because the person that takes that role over has as the treasurer. So therefore, you gotta work with the money and the influx that way. And when we went over there, I swear I was hoping that you would say, I can change that for you, chief, I can do that role. But unfortunately, you brought it to my attention that you would not be able to change it at any time. But I do not want to lose the man. The man's been very, very beneficial for the Veterans Council, and I'm not gonna lose him. We discussed this and everything. We also had somebody else that's gonna be stepping down from this role
Living with your
very,
mom,
very soon.
Felipe.
And he's the assistant to our operations officer. And that's when Jordan is gonna take that role on with all the eagerness that he has to help out with the positions that we've come forward. So I wanna thank you with that. Your resignation isn't today. You're still the vice president, so you're gonna stay right where you're at. You're not moving off this table yet until I say, okay, no, you got that clear. I wanna make sure the council knows, the board knows, that there will be a little bit of changes on the board members that we have with you guys today. But thank you very much. With that, we're gonna go and see if everybody signed in, Frank. Do we have anybody here representation for the American Legion? Anybody from the American Legion? Oh, okay, so we have American Legion as representative. How about the VFW? Okay, do we have for Freedom Eagles? Of course we do. All right. And the Marine Corps League. I just want to make sure that this is very, very important that we have some representation for those groups, because the information that we have here, I was just at, this is funny. Now, you raise your hand for the American Legion. I just went to the American Legion before I came here tonight. And I love it because Skiles wasn't there when you said he was supposed to be there, and I guess he's the new commander or whatever. And I went and said, I asked him, I said, are you guys gonna be at the meeting today or not, have representation out there? You guys paid your dues, it'd be nice to see somebody out there to get this passed. The thing they used to tell me is, you guys have your meeting at the same time we have our meeting. False. You guys have your meeting on the second Tuesday of every month. We have it on the third. So I just called his bluff on that. So from this point on, we will be having other representation. And you at the Veterans Service Office, you have a whole different role that is why we asked you to be here. But thank God for that. But I did go there today. I said, okay, I'm gonna take some time to step off and talk to them because I would like to see them. What?
It looks nice after they did the remodel.
Well, I guess it looks nice. They got a lot of tables and stuff like set up there, but to me, it's just like going back to the American Legion all the time, just going there, say, all right. But anyway, with that, at least we got good turnout here today. In case, I don't know if anybody from Senator Scott's group is here today with us. They might, if they could show up, somebody might show up from that group because they wanted to hear what Habitat for Humanity is doing with the veteran building. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit later on in the program. If they show up, they're just going to be incognito. They're going to sit in the back and they're going to be kind of quiet if somebody shows up towards the end. If not, we will give them the information that they're requesting from me because I got a phone call from them that says, can we talk to you about that? And I said, absolutely. And then I'm going to send them your way, Jerry, so you can talk to them for Habitat for Humanity, all right? And with all that, if everybody could please stand, we're going to do the invocation with our captain.
O sovereign ruler of the universe, please grant your blessings upon this meeting. We ask for your wisdom in our deliberations and patience in our negotiation. We ask for your blessings upon the leaders of our great nation, the leaders of our state, and the leaders of our local government. And today, we ask that everyone remember that 74 years ago, yesterday, 30,000 Marines stormed the shore on Iwo Jima, reached victory 5 weeks later with the rising of the American flag on Mount Suribachi. And 45 years ago, on February 12th, the first Vietnam POW. We ask you to remember these survivors and grant them blessings and peace. And please bring everyone home from this meeting safe. In Lord Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. George, you lead us in pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody, please have a seat. For those of you that knew our previous secretary through a lot of turmoil with disability for something that she got happened while she was overseas, and she Sarah is her name. She finally had the amputation of the right leg about 4 inches below the knee, so they finally got that taken care of. But she just wanted to pass on. She thinks about everybody that comes in here often, and she says she was really appreciative that she was even part of the board for the period of time we had. But she's going through a whole recovery program at this time. But I wanted to pass it to you guys that were friends of hers out there. And just so you know that she's good. She's getting taken care of. She's back with her parents right now, taking care of her. So I needed to pass that. At this time is the boring time that everybody says, why do we have to do it? Because legally we have to do it. We have to go through our treasury report, and because I had to do it as the treasurer, I'm going to go over the report so everybody knows what's going on right here in the treasury. We are a 501c3 group. We do take donations in order to keep this surviving, to do our functions like Memorial Day, Veterans Day, National Flag Day, and so forth. The things that we do, the flags that we purchase and everything else that we need an income that comes in. So because of people that are out here, people like yourself, we do get what's called donations to memberships, where we can put you on our website, we can put you out there to the veteran community, make sure that we get the emails processed out and getting taken care of. But for the treasury report, it started off at the beginning at it was $1,294.73. That was on January 3rd. As we go up to the time, we had a donation that was sent in for $100. It went up to $1,394.73. And then we had another donation that was made for $535, and that was $1,929.73. We had another donation of $50 that boosted up $1,979. This is the checking account, just so you know that. We have two, a checking and a savings. Then we had another deposit of $50, went up to $2,029.73. Then we went up to another $125. These are all given to the Veterans Council to keep going here. So it was $125. That's $2,154.73. We have another donation of $75, was $229.73. And then we had a mini storage payment every month that we do have to pay to store all our gear for these events. And that's $51 a month. So that brought us down to $2,178.73. So the total balance is $2,178.73. The total minus was $51. The plus status was $935. All right. Now we have a savings account as well. The savings account was at an opening balance of $3,470.70. We had a deposit that was put into there for $100, and that brought it up to $3,507.79. We have an interest of 9 cents, so it's now at a total ending balance of $3,507.88. So that was a total of there was no minus this time around. There was a total of $100.09 that was put into that account. I'm going to go over this right now because it's really important. We appreciate everybody that does come here, that does give a donation, and I want to make sure that I let everybody know who got their donations paid, because that's really important that we put this forth to everybody. We have the Veterans of Foreign War, Post 7721, paid their dues. American Legion, Post 135, paid theirs. The Officers Military Association of America, they paid theirs. The Marine Corps League, the E.T. Bryson Detachment, they paid theirs. The U.S. Submarine Veterans of Naples Base paid theirs. The Combat Infantrymen's Association paid theirs. Freedom Eagles paid theirs. Windermere Veterans Club paid theirs. The Southwest Florida Veterans Alliance paid theirs. Teddy Bears for the Troops also paid. And then we have Aval that paid theirs. Don Peacock, that used to be a treasurer out here, that doesn't really have to do this. He still wanted to pay dues, even though he's left here. So that was great news. And then we had William McNeil that paid his, which didn't have to, but I'm glad. Thank you very much for that. And Gary, I want to thank you too, because you're out here as well for paying yours as well. And then we have Julie Bador. these are something that I take to heart. When somebody comes in and says, we want to give something to the veteran community to make sure that you put it in your account so you can keep moving forward with this, it's really a blessing for us. And we do have some other ones, I'm not gonna mention them because I don't wanna put people on the spot where they say, you know what, how come you have to say we haven't paid ours? I still send out the checks and stuff like that, the requests for receipts and stuff like that for those that haven't paid, and I'm sure that they will. I just got a couple of them on today. I got, Take a Soldier Fishing today, also paid dues as well, and I wanna thank you guys for coming in and doing that, because that means a lot to us. We also had the Honor Flight, they came in and paid their dues, which is really great, and Rick, I wanna thank them as well. I'll be sending thank yous out there. Remember, we are a 501c3, so I'll be sending the paperwork that they could use back in area for taxes as well, so make sure that gets done. I also, before I got here today, and this is really a blessing here, Erica works for Vitas. Vitas gave us a check for $400, which is, they're paying $350 towards any video processing that we do at one of our events, plus another $50 to maintain a membership with us. And if you can, Erica, could you please thank them? I'm also sending them a thank you back with this, because I just got this, and this will be in the next check go round. That's why I wasn't posting this one right here. But I just want to make sure that everybody understands, in order for us to continue making this work for us, it will work, believe me. But with that, I just want to make sure if we get an approval for the treasurer's report.
Before so, we've got a correction to be made, please.
Okay, what is the
For
correction?
the public record, I'm assuming that the main storage fee was for the month of February, not.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'll
And
put
the
last
balance was on
one.
February third also.
Okay, all right. There you go. Anything else?
Chief Carl?
What's that?
Chief Carl, I just wanted to say that today our commander, Harv Sturm, is with us today. Of course, we're going to be signing up again, of course.
Oh, well, thank you very much, for the Jewish War veterans, they're gonna be bringing up their payment, and thank you, I appreciate it.
There's a little extra here.
Huh? Well, we'll talk to you a little bit, here. Thank you, Harv.
That's very
Thank
kind.
you. That is very kind.
Who gets this?
So it will be coming right to me. Right now, I'm the treasurer. Our treasurer is actually in law school. He's working on his master's and he couldn't make it today because he's studying his law, which I am very proud of the man for doing what he's doing. This slack that I've been doing for the last couple of months, he's gonna take it over. Because this is one of those things where you're going like, oh God, I need to get more into finances, I guess. But with the correction, we need to find out is this approved? Motion to approve. Motion to approve, second. If Fred, you second? Okay, so we got that done. I'm sorry that this is boring for you guys sitting out in the audience, but I have to get this done. The next one we're gonna go over right now is the approval of the minutes from our secretary, so.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
All right, this one might be a little bit more lengthy because we did have the key holder for the bank, turned over to our new treasurer as well, so it's fairly confusing.
In actuality, for the vacancy of the treasurer position that's now filled, Matt Renner stepped down, and we have Joe that stepped up that position. He's not here. That whole thing there, I'm sure because the board is the ones that take a vote, just read that real quick so we don't make the length of time in here. Just read it over. If there's a correction to it, let's get to her afterwards and let her know if there's a correction. But you can read everything other than that part right there then.
Okay, so don't read the vacancy.
Right,
Okay.
you don't have to do that.
All right, CCC attendees, William Carl, Jordan Tompkins, Brian Soros, Frank Kerr, James Birch, Joseph Bear, Eric Florio, Jack Homer, roll call to order 1905, roll call to CCBC completed by Brian Soros, pledge of allegiance, James Birch, treasurer's report, Chief Carl, motion to accept report, Jack Homer, seconded by Eric Florio, all in favor, treasurer's report approved, approval of minutes. Motion to accept report, Chief Carl, seconded by Brian Soros, all in favor, minutes report approved. Secretary Eric Florio, performing the meeting minutes, approved by Chief Carl, seconded by James Birch. New business was, of course, the vacancy of the treasurer's position. Irene Johnson and Oscar Gomez, home-based 5K run, senior expo, January 2nd, 2019, 10 to 12:30. Irene needs to give the library presentations, February 7th at 0900. March 9th, 2019, Kensington Golf Course, home-based with general Frank, homebase.org. David Salgano with the Vet Center, reporting on, Green Water boat trips, contact Bill Eagleson, Habitat for Humanity with Jerry Pearson, special guest Tori Soros, Captain U.S. Army veteran, who of course has been voted onto our board now, Kathy Lee with Tigers, for the troops and care packages to deployed military personnel, Jerry Stanford, Homer Hilters every Saturday, station 48 from 10 to 1. Gina Salerno with yoga for veterans, free for veterans at VFW Post 7721, Saturdays at 10 a.m. That's open to everyone, not just members of the VFW. Unfinished business, website remodel, Greg Jenkins, Lance Purple said more. Clarification that the CCDC cannot donate to political candidates, have any kind of religious affiliation or political stances. And items for next agenda, update on donations for Coast Guard, next CCDC meeting, February 20th, 2019. Meeting was adjourned at 2038.
Very nice. I want to say something real quick about this. First off, there is a correction, and I'll tell you that Jim Albert was here last meeting, so we got to make sure that it's on there. I'll give you an update really quick on the United States Coast Guard donation. People out there, when you're aware that there was basically a shutdown of the government in different offices and stuff, the Coast Guard was one of them. We do have a basis right out here at Fort Myers Beach. There's 75 families that were affected by this. The greatest thing about it is we did have a couple of different establishments that went out there and was trying to support them. The thing about the United States Coast Guard and any other government thing is when you're giving them a donation or money, you can't give them money. You can't give them checks. You can give them credit cards, but they're only at $20 capacities. So they can take as many as they want to help out the family with the food and everything else like that. But we did build up $935 is what we got all together from the community out there that came to our last meeting. That sent me out some cards to give out to the Coast Guard base, and it really did come in handy for those guys at the time of need when they did need it. And it was nice to see that people out there do take time to care about others. And one thing I can say for a fact is whenever you come to one of these meetings, you're caring about other people out there that are out there. So it helped out really well. So thank you. With that, I only saw one correction needed. Anybody else have anything? Do we approve the minutes with the one correction? Did we get a second?
I second.
Okay, do you want a second? Approved, so we move on. I want to bring this up here because it's interesting. We are a 501c3. We have different social medias that are out there. I actually got a check from, believe it or not, it's called Network for Good from Facebook because we're on Facebook. I didn't know if we knew anything about this, so I asked Jordan if you could look into this one. Did you find out anything? Because it was. So you haven't got anything? I will, one of the things I will not put into account, just because somebody sends something like this, no matter how authentic this looks, until I get feedback and find out the truth about it. Okay, go ahead. Did you know something about this?
I get checks from them all the time. They are good. People want to donate anonymously.
Yeah, that's
So
what
they go through Facebook. They're the bank or so, whatever you want to call it, that sends out the checks once a month. So they're good.
Okay, I needed to hear that from somebody because of the fact that we've never got something like this, and it was anonymous.
Yeah.
And when you're going anonymous, I want to know the reality of these things when they come into the mail, especially coming off of Facebook, when you see all the stuff that goes on with Facebook. So,
They're good. I get them all the time. Yeah.
thank you for that information. I really appreciate it. It's not like a really large check or something, but it was something that could go into the account to help out some of the veteran families out there. So thank you for that information. Okay, let's get back on track here. So we got that done. The next thing is, around the room, we have so many different people that are out here that's never, excuse me? There's so, I saw your hand raised up there.
Look at my nose.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good, that's good to know, you're picking your nose, let me let everybody know that. That's what he said. But anyway, we do have a lot of people that come out here. I'm gonna give 2 minutes just to some of the individuals that are here that have never been here before, what brings them in here. But if you're here to talk about a certain specific thing that you wanna get out there to the veteran community, you'll have to wait towards the end of this so we can get that out there. Because we have a limited time schedule and we do have things going on. but I want to make sure that people that have never been to a veterans group like this, that come in here and have the opportunity to introduce themselves and let us know what they're out here for. Michael, I don't think you've ever been in here before.
No,
so
I haven't.
Please stand up, and you will be talking later, so you don't have to bring up your information. Just tell us who you are and what brought you here, though. Stand up, please. Stand.
I'm Michael White, and I'm the owner of Legacy Options Funeral and Cremation Services. I have recently started a letter that I put together with Greg Jenkins to send out to all of the churches here in Naples about a veterans program, and I can talk about that.
And we'll talk about that later on. One of the things I want to let everybody also know here about Michael White. Michael White was just at our last Veterans Day event. He was presented with what's called the ESGR Award. It's one of the bigger awards that a military personnel can give to a non-military person. And he got the award for the, it's called Employer Support Reserve, and it's a Freedom Award, which is really, really nice. And I'm really happy that you're here with us today. But thank you very much for being here. Now, Jury, you're going to be talking a little bit later. Bob, have you been here before to sit down here? If not, could you please stand up for a second? Give us 2 minutes of your time.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bob Wheeler. I'm from the Del Webb Naples Veterans Group out in Ave Maria. And our mission is to promote patriotism, of course, but we also support needy veterans and homeless veterans. I'm trying to coordinate with this group to maybe find some other resources that we can donate.
And we will discuss more with that, and I would like to get you probably at our next meeting or something, bring this up again, but I need to get more details so we can really get it going, okay?
Okay.
We'd like to help you guys out. We also have Habitat for Humanity, where, Jury, you're gonna be speaking, so you can just introduce yourself when you come up to speak, because you got the biggest part of our program.
Oh, wow.
But you got a good fan base, you got a big fan base right behind you there.
Yeah, so I work with Jessica, which is great. My name is Jerry Paulson. I work at Habitat for Humanity. I'm the director of volunteers there. I grew up in Naples, went to North Naples Middle School, Collier High School. I love being involved in the community, giving back, and a big part of our community, something that should always be celebrated, is our veterans. So I want to work on engaging more with that community within the larger community. So thank you.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Jessica, have your kids stand up, please. I want to see, this is a real, true veteran family.
That's right.
There you go, Jessica, you stand up with your kids. It's just, it's nice to see a veteran bringing her kids in here, and they're all so nicely mannered, I'm telling you. Excellent. Thank you guys for being here. Now I have all three of you sitting here that have not been in here with me before, so if you guys could please stand up and tell a little bit about all three of you. All three of you.
Hi, I'm with Bank of America. Karina Gillen Jordan invited me tonight so I could come and see how the bank can play a part in the community and what we can do for our veterans.
Hi, I'm Donna Dennis. I know a lot of you in the room already, but I'm a retired Navy nurse, and I'm here representing Gulf Coast Veterans and Friends, another 501c3 local organization to help veterans. And we're the ones who have the Homers Annex on every Saturday, that veterans of all ages and eras can come and talk and bond, have breakfast and lunch. And I came to ask a question a little bit later.
We will get to that
Thank
then
you.
as well.
Thank you.
That is
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you, yeah.
Talk to Bank of America if she tells you you ate your own condo. You ate your own condo.
It's close, though. It's very close.
It's on the beach.
Hey, listen, there's some haters in the room, that's all they get for it.
We're just gonna say you're gonna eat better.
I'll tell you what, Bank of America will be coming at you, especially when it comes time for the national flag day. Because we need to figure out how we're gonna start getting some sponsorships out there for getting basically tent setups, because it does get hot on that day. And we found that out last year, didn't we? Yeah. So we're gonna try to see if we can find somebody out there, but we'll go over that at a later time whenever you guys want to actually go out there and talk to us about it. Now, I see somebody is holding a phone in front of his face in the real corner right there. I don't know who it is, but
How's it going? My name's Kyle Shockley. I just came down to the area and I'm just checking it out right now. And I'm documenting on YouTube, show everybody what it's like. And we got about 35 people witnessing right now.
Wow.
So, thank you very much.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Val. Greg got me out here. I've never been to anything like this. I'm a prior service. I served in the freedom campaigns, and I'm also a broadcaster.
Well, yeah, thank you for your service. I'm correct here. Now, Kyle, you're United States Marine Corps, right?
Yes.
And we also have Bio, who's U.S. Army Airborne, 82nd, right? All right, now let's go right over here. We know just about everybody up here. There's a gentleman with glasses that are sitting right behind Cadillac, if you can stand up.
That's you. He's never been here before.
Oh, I thought he'd been here.
No, this is from my neighborhood, Mike Knudsen, and.
Well, I already got him standing, so you go ahead and
already up.
introduce
You're
yourself,
already
and then I'll get him up.
My name is Stephen Duran. I was in the Army Reserve when I was, and now I own a Legion Health Centers in Naples, and we treat PTSD, suicidality, and chronic pain. And we really want to help out veterans. We have one of the only treatments where someone will come in and want to do themselves harm, and leave without wanting to do themselves harm.
Just like I told them earlier, I need you to come to one of our meetings. I need you to get up and I need you to really tell us a little bit more about that, because one of the things that I really want to get involved in, especially as a Veterans Council like we have, the board of directors up here, with things that have to do with PTSD, or suicide prevention. I've had a couple of brothers that committed suicide, so I'm telling you, it's important to me and my family that these two areas, PTSD and suicide, we need to reel them in. Some of the guys that come back home that have no place to go and they find out it goes to homelessness or and other things, but thank you very much for being here. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, sir. I thought you'd been here before.
My name is Mike Knudsen. We just moved, me and my family, me and my wife just moved from the state of Michigan. And it's 80 degrees today, and it was, daughter was saying it was 10 degrees up in Michigan. I just retired from federal government service, retired from the Army as Lieutenant Colonel, and you can see that I was in the and my last 32 years of federal government was with the Department of Veterans Affairs, where, and the last 7 years was Veterans Headquarters, the VA Headquarters in Human Resources. Did some rating work for the VA and all that type of stuff. So I served also for 15 years with the Disabled American Veterans at the Department of Michigan as a state chaplain, plus other committee positions. But I want to let everybody know that they forget how much God admires veterans. Three greatest statements of faith, 2 of them were made by veterans. And we have to remember that all the time.
This is interesting, Colonel, and I'm just so glad that you made it here today, because I just had a talk with Freddie earlier today. And if he remembers what I talked to him about, I called up the vet center. I get a lot of people to say, you know what, Chief, the vet center, if you try to make an appointment and stuff like that, you always have to get a referral for a lot of different things. Say if you're suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder or anything else like that, say you want a psychological evaluation, make sure that you're okay, you're intact. Can you just call the VA to ask them? I called them today. And they said, did you get a referral? Is there a reason why you have to call? I said, no, and I'm doing it for myself. I want to make sure that I've been through 7 tours out there. I want to make sure that I'm still fit. I'm still going there, and mentally I'm still able to do the things that I do. And they said, well, usually we have to get like a referral from somebody to do this. I said, let me tell you something, and I'm going to give, and I'll be honest, and I told you a little bit, Freddie, I told you I was doing this. And I called him up and I said, I'm the president of the Collier County Veterans Council. We deal with a lot of people dealing with homelessness. We deal with people doing PTSD. We deal with people that are doing suicide prevention. But if you're telling me that the only way you can be seen, when you see everything out there in the news, when they're telling people that, oh yeah, well, they should have known because they had PTSD or something like that, they don't know it until it's too late, unless they have the ability to go to the VA to say, I want to get a standard checkup. Can I get checked to make sure I've already had this situation? It took me almost 40 minutes till finally the doctor that is basically my doctor at the VA finally said, we'll get it taken care of for you. I said, I just don't want this to happen to every individual that calls in and says, I have a situation. I want to make sure I'm having about depression. I'm having some situations where I'm really worried about. But this is something that basically Freddie brought to my attention earlier today when I talked to him. But to get a referral for something as simple as that, when you're in the military, when you're doing your duties and stuff like that, we know that we get our medical time where once a month we gotta go get our physical taken care of, we gotta go get our physical taken care of, once a year, we get our physical stuff taken care of, your teeth taken care of. But it's mental. What do you get taken care of?
We in the VA, and you can quote me, once you get into the VA system, the care is excellent. Generally, the care is excellent, but it is getting into the system, the VA becomes your worst enemy.
Correct.
And I worked for it for 32 years.
So this is where we're gonna work a little bit harder on getting this stuff taken care of, except Senator Scott was here today as well. And I'm sure there was a lot of information that they passed on to him to say, let's start getting something taken care of, especially when it comes to the veterans. For me, I am a member of the VA, so I should be able to get, if I just ask a question to do that, I shouldn't have to have a referral to say, I want to make sure mentally I'm okay. For a physical evaluation, you need a referral. If I go and call my doctor on TRICARE and say, I would like to get a physical or a psychological evaluation, they'll say, okay, I'll get you a doctor and set you right up. That's a whole different field. When people that can't afford a personal doctor that go to the VA, when you are a veteran, they shouldn't have to bow down and say, you know what, I'll wait to sign in to make sure that it's done. Okay, we'll sign in. Just show us your DD-214, your honorable discharge papers, to make sure that you're okay. We should be able to put you in there to get you taken care of, instead of having a kid out there that is all distraught and wondering what he's doing with his life, and then they go down the putter because we don't really give them that care that they need out here. That's what these individuals are all here to do, is care about. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the homelessness and everything else like that in those areas. This is why people like you, sir, it was important to me to come to these events, so everybody gets this out there to the veteran community. But thank you for being here today, because I took up too much of your time. Now I have too many people, or two other people in the back there that are with the Take a Soldier Fishing. If you guys could just introduce yourself today.
Commander, thank you. Board of Directors, thank you for allowing us to have some of your time. It's an honor to be here with everybody. Anyone that's here is an American patriot, so we're very blessed to be able to contribute to our community and represent what we represent. I'm not a military veteran. I chose law enforcement right out of college. I'm retired here from Collier County Sheriff's Office, 27 years. I understand the PTSD, just as unfortunately so many of our military men and women have been in a theater battle here in the recent past. Our law enforcement folks as well have seen stuff, and so I understand that problem, and I'm glad to see that there's more attention to that. But to bring it to a lighter side, what we do is we bring 150 active duty troops. There's a lot of military organizations out here that, God bless them, the more the merrier. But there was not a whole lot dealing with the active duty military men and women. So what we do is we raise money a year to bring about 150 active duty military men and women from all branches to Naples in September. We put them up at the Naples Grand Hotel for 3 nights. We feed them. We arrange for 70 boat captains with the finest vessels and rigs that Naples can provide, which we're lucky, this demographic, we have the best of the best. And they take them, and we take them golfing, and we feed them the best food, and we get their minds away from what they're acclimated to serving in our military. So, as I said before, in this day and age, so many of our military men and women have been in a theater battle. They're dealing with issues. You mentioned Sarah. Sarah actually is a recipient of a PAWS dog that we sponsored to give her as an assistance dog. We raised enough money to purchase that dog for her. The stories and the things that we have learned through this organization is overwhelming to me. We are a completely volunteer network. I have two rules with my board of directors is we will always be a volunteer network. There will be no payroll. Anything we can add gravy to the potatoes, so to speak, great, let's do it. But we will take them fishing on that Saturday, and we will always be a volunteer network. So that's kind of what we do. We bring down the active duty military men and women from MacDill Air Force Base, which houses all 5 branches of the military. It's Special Ops, Center of Special Ops, so we can pull from all branches. We bring them down, we wine them, we dine them, we provide entertainment, we put them up in the best hotels on the beach that Naples can afford. And it is a major undertaking to raise that much money to bring 150 troops down. And we put a pencil to the numbers, and it takes about $700 to bring each individual military member down. So we have our work cut out for us. So we do bowling nights, we do golf tournaments, we have a lot of private donations, anything and everything that we can do. And I'm lucky, I'm one spoke in the wheel. I may be here representing our organization, but I have such a great group of individuals that make this thing turn and this big wheel roll that has made us successful. This is our 10th year, it continues to grow, and I'll be honest with everybody in here, this thing is so far over my head. I never dreamed that we would achieve what we have dreamed or we have achieved. The Saturday night when I'm standing on the microphone, which was by total accident, I was not supposed to be the guy on the microphone. I just didn't want, everybody else denied getting on the microphone. I didn't want us to be embarrassed, so I took the microphone. 10 years later, here we are. But when I have a 6'5", built like you know what, and for us not to go above and beyond to show these men and women what they're fighting for, we would be amiss. So that's what we do. We bust our butts, and we will continue to do it. We're so happy to hear that there's so many people that are concerned about it, like yourselves, and hold these meetings and want to contribute and do what's good for the troops. It is important, and we will continue to do our part as well to make that happen.
Thank you. Introduce yourself.
She doesn't like to talk a lot in front of crowds. She will burn my ears off. So my wife, Jamie, she honestly, I come up with all these ideas that are just crazy. She makes them happen. So she is the next American.
Thank you very much. Thank you both for everything you do. Now we have the important part here. We have the veterans, not that any of this is important, it's all important, but we have the veteran service, this is for veterans, it's important, the veteran service officer. If you have anything new to let us know about, please do at this time.
First, I want to say thank you, everybody who came out and supported us at the Veteran Expo. It was wonderful, it was awesome. We ended up serving just over, I believe we said between 275 and 300 veterans, so it was a great event. We got really good feedback, and the Sheriff's Office next year is going to be an even bigger role in that and help us support and support and advertise. So I'm super excited. Big event that's going on right now in the VA that I want everybody to know about because there's rumors about it. Anybody in here Navy? Not me, but everybody else out here at Navy. Blue water vets. Everybody's hearing about blue water vets. What's going on with blue water vets? Blue water vets are now approved for Agent Orange. That's not true. Let me tell you the scoop. This is what's going on. You should still come see me if you are a blue water vet. And by blue water vet, what I mean is if you were in Vietnam and you were off the coast and you were on like an aircraft carrier or about 8-12 miles off, there was some discussion about whether or not you were symptomatic of being exposed to Agent Orange, and it was not approved at the time. However, there was groundbreaking casework that happened within the last 45 days, where the Board of Veterans Appeals basically said, I don't really care what you have to say, Congress and Senate, I'm going to say it should be. And they approved it, and they didn't just approve it for one veteran, they approved it as a statute amongst the veterans. What that means is, you don't automatically get a presumptive right now. However, it's very positive. So if you're a blue water veteran, or you know of a blue water veteran, please send them to our office to talk about a claim. Let's get it in. We'll put the precedent with it. because if we can't get it in a regular claim, we might be able to get it in an appeal. And this is definitely making big headway for a precedent for Blue Water. So I just wanted to clarify that. If you have more, please.
Isn't the VA fighting that in the courts?
They are. And right now, it passed one side of the, I don't remember if it passed the House or the Senate, but one of them denied it. So it did not get approval in Congress, however. But the VA is trying to sue the BVA and say it's fair. However, there's precedent set, so it's positive. And there are some case studies that have been put out there. So the chances of being able to be a presumptive for Agent Orange are more positive. My suggestion is get your stuff in now. If it's denied because it's a battle, it could be something, if you take it all the way through and get denied and it's approved 2 years down the road, it'll be something that could be 2 years down the road. So that's the big news that's out for service-connected claims.
Does it go back retroactive to the date? Let's say you file it now,
Yes, sir.
and it doesn't get approved until 2 or 3 years down the road. It's retroactive to the day you file,
It
right?
depends on how Congress does it, but normally yes, but you have to take your claim all the way to the point where you get denied in an appeal. You can't just take your claim, get denied, and never take it to appeal. You have to take it all the way through and deny you at the appeal, and then if it's a retroactive later, it comes back. So it's important, don't give up. Like he was saying, it's really painful to get in, but once you're there, it's better. Please, please, please don't give up. And if you know people that have been out there that have been suffering from symptoms of Agent Orange, like diabetes, coronary artery disease, many types of cancers, and they were Navy vets, and they were never really acknowledged before, have them come see our office. We're with Collier County Veteran Services. We're here to help you. The other thing I did want to say, Chief, is the Vet Center, which is a little different than the VA healthcare side. If you do a walk-in at the Vet Center, they will not turn you away, and they will see you. So if you ever have an urgent suicidal veteran that you need, they won't turn you away. They don't care what your discharge is, they don't care. They're gonna give you an evaluation and help you and not leave you stranded. So I know Dave's not here, so I'm gonna plug in for him for just a minute to realize that was kind of established to kind of cover the gap that you're talking about. But it's not a complete gap coverage, but it is something for you all to know that that's still an outlet for our veterans, and that's completely separate than healthcare and having a primary care doctor. The Vet Center is specifically for PTSD, military sexual trauma veterans, and you don't have to even have an honorable discharge to go there. You can go there and get services regardless, which is a little different than the healthcare. So just wanted to sum that up.
I have a question. About a week ago, I went in the local news and they were reporting about bringing a VA hospital here to Collier County. They said that the Colliers had donated or set aside some land for this VA hospital. What's the story on that?
So, rumor, what I understand from that is that there's a golf course that's on 951 that the county is talking about purchasing.
Okay.
Potentially making that a VA nursing home.
Okay.
It would be a VA nursing home, not a hospital. Now, the Colliers could do something completely different. I've heard both, but from what I understood, it's a nursing home. What they're talking about, it could be something separate, but I believe that's what they're talking about.
They're probably talking about the nursing home.
And that would be where they're propositioning it is on 951, where that golf course used to be, if any of you are familiar with Goldgate Parkway, 951. And one of the benefits of it would be, the closest one right now is Sarasota. When we originally put our bid in 4 or 5 years ago, we were denied, even though we were the #1 place to bring in nursing home because of age and need, because they chose to try to put it out in Ave Maria. That section's gonna put us near a hospital, near a bus transportation route, near lots of senior facilities, so it's a much better possibility that the VA would entertain partnering with us to build the home. So that's my understanding.
Who do we have to speak to make that happen besides the sale of the land? I mean, do we have to talk to a senator, congressman, and?
It's gonna be your commissioners who are doing the package. I'm not sure which commissioner is spearheading it, but Saunders is Golden Gate. I would assume it's him. That would be my assumption. Unless you know something different. I don't know of right now that there's a bid for a nursing home. Because they just built one in St. Lucie because we weren't ready.
That's interesting. Especially when they come out there and they asked me to come in there, they have this big old talk we did, 6 months ago? and they say, Chief, we need you to come in, we gotta talk to you about building a nursing facility out here for the veteran community.
And we need it desperately, but the way I understand it to work, and you worked in VA for a lot of times, so you can probably help me more with this, is but there's times when there's like a lotto that happens, and it comes up, and basically all companies get to bid for the spot and put on their best show. Well, they purchased one in Port St. Lucie, I think, recently because it was a nursing home and it was cheaper to remodel it. And we weren't ready and we had not put together a good proposal about 4 or 5 years ago. I think we've learned a lot. And I think with our growing population of seniors, regardless in the state of Florida, I see it happening. So that's where I believe that information is geared towards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for the Veteran Service Office?
If you have an emergency, if you have a priority veteran, if you have a homeless veteran, or if you have somebody who needs to be seen immediately, please contact our manager, Alex, myself, and we will work it in. I am taking walk-ins on Tuesdays at my office, not at the vet center right now. So we were doing Tuesdays, Eddie was doing it at the vet center for a long time. However, there is no electronic communication anymore, and the VA does not writing stuff in anymore. They want it to be computerized. So we are taking walk-ins on Tuesdays if you have an urgent need and you can't get in for an appointment.
What about the Home Care Act that, where spouses who are taking care of?
The caregiver,
Yeah, the caregiver.
it's out there, nobody's implemented yet. We're still waiting for direction.
Oh, there's not, okay.
There's been movement and that is out there. There's been no movement on direction of putting it into place. I know, so that's where we're at with that, but thank you. And if I get more information by next month, I will bring it for you all.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Irene. We've already gone through the 2 minutes, addressing people out here that haven't been here. We're going on to new business, unfinished business. There is no unfinished business. Everything that we've been working on has been followed through and it's gotten taken care of. So the new business right now, we have Jerry from the Habitat for Humanity, the Veterans Home Build Affordable Housing. If you could come up, please, and let us know a little bit more about that.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for allowing me to
Oh,
speak.
excuse me, one second. Pass this at the very beginning, especially when there's children out here. If anybody has to use the restroom at any time, the bathrooms are over here this way, okay? So you make sure that, follow right out this side of the door there. Frank, if you could point over there where the door's at, that's where the restrooms are at. You're more than welcome to use it.
All right, do you mind if I go this real quick? Good evening. Thanks for allowing me to speak tonight, and thank you for your service to our great country. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Has anyone heard of Habitat for Humanity in the audience? Great. A lot of times we get calls at our office looking for the Humane Society, and we do not deal with animals, we deal with people. What we do is we build affordable homes for working class families. Families that can't apply and receive conventional loans for homes. The area median income in Collier County is $75,000. This is not a cheap place to live. We serve individuals and families that make in between 20 to 60%, give or take, of that area median income. What we do, we don't serve necessarily any one population demographic or group. We're looking for anyone that needs an affordable home. So we do end up getting some veterans that are looking to apply with us, and they go through a whole application process, and we're lucky to serve them. It was awesome. We had our first veterans build of all time in Collier County. We've been around for 41 years. Recently in January, where the Veterans Council, some of the board members, JB did the invocation, Erica spoke. We got some veterans from the community out to build alongside a veteran that was in the process of getting her home. Her name was Summer Galvin, and her husband Eddie, they were there. We built alongside, and we had a great day. So that was awesome. With Habitat, there's an application process. You have to have lived or worked in Collier County for 1 year. You have to be a legal permanent citizen or legal permanent resident or U.S. citizen. You have to make a minimum income of $24,000 a year, and you can't exceed a certain amount depending on your situation. So the philosophy behind Habitat is a hand up, not a hand out. We do have a monthly mortgage payment that these families are required to pay. So for example, just as an average, $750, $800 a month is what we charge. It's interest free, and that's the hand up coming into play. So in rent in Collier County for a 3-bedroom apartment, you're looking at $1,600 to $2,000 a month. That's insane. Well, it's tough. It's very tough for hardworking class families that serve this community in our grocery stores, in our healthcare system, at our restaurants, to be able to afford swing that kind of rent every month. So then you start looking at, if I'm going to pay this amount of rent, then I got to forego the doctor's office. I can't pick up as many diapers as I need. Things like this. So that's what we're out there doing in the community. We've been around since 1978. We started in Immokalee and made our way into Naples, where we've built over 2,100 homes now. We average about 100 new homes a year. So we're proud to say that we're the largest producing Habitat affiliate in North America, and there's several hundred. We're proud of that. The reason why we can do that is we have great volunteers, we have great donors, and we have great people that apply for these homes. And we're lucky to get some veterans that come through the pipeline. We want to serve more. Another really important factor of applying for a Habitat home is you got to be willing to put in what we call sweat equity. So you got to be willing to partner with Habitat and actually go out to the construction site and work alongside other people that are applying for homes, along with our volunteers and our staff members. So that's what we were doing during our first annual Veterans. We were working alongside Eddie and Summer, who were putting in their sweat equity hours. And each prospective homeowner is required to put in 500 of those hours. So it's no joke. It's not a handout. It's a hand up and something that these families feel really strong and appreciative about, because they helped build it. They paid for it. They continue to pay for it for 20 to 30 years like any other mortgage, but it's free. So it gives them breathing room, and it allows them to turn their lives around. The kids, we follow up with these people after they've been in their home for about 5 to 10 years, and we see how everything's going. We look, how's your financial situation? How are your kids doing in school? And almost across the board, when people have a safe, decent place to live where they can afford to live there, things change. Things change for the better. So that's what we do. I brought some materials that I'm going to leave in the back, or that you borrow, about like qualifications for a home or volunteering in general, and just kind of what's going on with Habitat. Some cool stories. One story I want to share in particular that kind of just shows full circle what we do. We had a couple homeowners. How much time I got left? One story for you. Okay. Someone that grew up in a Habitat home in Immokalee last week came in to pay off the rest of his parents' mortgage. He grew up in Immokalee and had recently been drafted by the Minnesota Vikings to play football in the NFL. He grew up in a Habitat home in Immokalee, walked in the office last week, said, I'm paying for the rest of my parents' mortgage, paying it off because they worked really hard in the fields for me while I was growing up, and I want to give something back. That's what we're all about, and we want as many veterans as possible to come by and see if they can qualify for a home as well.
That was in the newspaper today, right?
Yes, it was. It was. Really cool story.
Even though the time is up for 5 minutes, I want to leave it open to questions and answers to the veteran community out here. If they have anything they'd like to talk or ask him, what they're doing with the home builds and stuff like that for affordable housing, please, by all means, raise your hand.
Yes, ma'am. I think you had your hand first.
I'm just wondering if you all have any idea how many low-income veterans there are in Collier
So
County?
that's why we need to get the word out. It's as simple as stopping into the office and talking with one of our advisors about a pre-qualification, talking about what the steps are. Just getting people in the building to talk about it. That's a huge first step. So
that's the biggest reason, joining this, that we asked him to come here, so we can get it out to the veteran community. All the representation from the American Legion and all these other groups like the VFW stuff, they should be passing this stuff when they get there. Because there's a lot of young families out there and older families that are dealing with these issues. But we're finding out that it's here, and they're really trying to help. I actually got to go with him to look at the site that's down here, and it was awesome. And you're looking about 44 homes being built right there. It's not just the veteran community, don't get me wrong. We are talking to see if there's veterans out there that need help. That's why we're putting it out there. But also, if you know anybody, you're a veteran, and you know family that is stressing out there, this is also to them as well. Anybody who needs affordable housing, that's what this whole community is for, to help them survive and their families survive. So I appreciate you putting it out there.
Absolutely.
And I saw other questions.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, thank you very much for what you do with targeting veterans, that's great. Are you strictly operating here in Collier County, or are you looking at Lee County?
So we're Collier County, Immokalee and Naples primarily, and there's a Lee County habitat. There's habitats throughout the states and international, so. Yes, sir.
Did I understand you to say all the homes you built, you just built the first veterans home?
No, we've had a few veterans, but we've had some veterans we've been around for 41 years. I don't know how many we've had off the top of my head, but that was the first veterans build that we had. So we marketed it, we got veterans from the community to come help build, and that's the first time we've done that as a Collier affiliate, which we like.
When they're up there, just so the board of directors, everybody knows, he's open to you guys' questions as well, if you have anything out there. Because they did reach out to us to help out with anything that we could possibly do to give them a hand to get the word out there. And if you have questions that are saying, I wonder about this, now's the time really to bring it up and say, hey, if there's any questions on the top of your mind, I'm just proud that you're here. I want to thank you so much. Is there any other questions from the council?
Yeah, Jerry, next steps for somebody to get involved, tell us a little bit about, besides walking into the center, is there a website that we can go on to?
Absolutely, thanks, Jordan. HabitatCollier.org. Pretty simple. You can find pretty much all the information on there that you need, as well as if you're looking for a specific contact within the organization, everyone's email address is listed. So.
And I know with Habitat for Humanity, as you had pointed out, a lot of it has to do with getting involved actively and actually participating in the bill. Describe to us the necessary able-bodiedness for somebody to volunteer, as we have a lot of veterans that aren't at 100% capacity. Are they still be able to lend a hand in a bill? Would that be a valuable part?
That's a great question. So we like to say, if you can move around in the slightest bit, we can use you out there. And you don't have to have any particular skill set. We say, come on out. We provide you with the tools, the instruction, everything. So, for people that are not as quick or, aren't trying to throw up walls, we still have painting. We still have, other similar things in terms of it's not going to stress your back too much, putting up outdoor installation blue board, very light, you can still swing a hammer a little bit, but there's definitely tasks, all kinds of things. So.
Great. Well, thank you for coming out.
Happy to be here. Thank you. Some materials in the back, and if anyone ever has any questions, ask for me at the office, Jerry Paulson.
Thank you,
so
George.
much, guys.
Thank you. The next speaker is going to be up here. Michael White, if you could come up and talk to us about the homeless veteran project that you guys are working on here, I'd really appreciate it.
Yes, that way.
Thank you, Chief Powell, for the opportunity to come forward and speak. Jerry, it was when you first opened, you made a strong point of saying that you're not for animals, that you're for humans. And that will bring me to a point I want to make. My name is Michael White, and I'm the owner of Legacy Options Funeral and Cremation Services. And about 2 years ago, my company wanted to provide a free service for any homeless veteran who passed away. Homeless veterans do pass. They present themselves at the hospital, at hospice, at the medical examiner's office. And our Veterans Administration does a great job in terms of providing a grave, a marker, a vault, and a free space in our National Cemetery in Sarasota. However, it's everything this side of that I wanted to step up and offer. And that is a free funeral, free casket, transportation of that veterans to the National Cemetery, and have a member of that veterans organization accompany us in the hearse to Sarasota. But that is not really enough that I would like to do. You made a point about clarifying your role at Habitat. And the problem that I have is that the present day mindset here in Collier has placed more importance on protecting a turtle, a manatee, a dolphin, or a pelican, or a panther, or a black bear than we do in taking care of our homeless veterans. That is why I prepared the letter that I did. I sent it out to every single church in Naples, asking for their support. I'm in hopes that I can get raise everybody's awareness that that mindset of placing animals above humanity is prevalent here in Collier County. Every time we pick up the paper, there seems to be front page coverage. And this week alone, there was a panther who was found dead on Golden Gate Parkway. I'm all for panthers, I'm all for manatees, I'm all for dolphins, all of that. But the priority is that if there were one homeless veteran that walked out on the street on Thomason or showed up on Gordon Drive, it wouldn't be Wink News coming there to see what was wrong and what they could do to help. Unfortunately, I think it would be the law enforcement agency that would come. And that is the mindset that exists here. And I have to say Collier County, because that's where we are. That's where we are. So I prepared that letter, I sent it around, I've sent copies, and I've spoken with the director of Wounded Warriors in Collier County. I'm trying to get together with anybody that will listen. I have worked very closely with Greg, right here, Jenkins, to put together, we drafted this letter and we sent it out. Greg has pulled himself up. He is a veteran, he was homeless. He's changed his whole life around. He's doing it. I haven't worked out everything in my brain about what kind of a program this should look like. But there's many models out there, one of which would be a halfway or a transitional housing program that would bring a veteran from the weeds, from the woods, into a transitional house to get that veteran the kind of help they may need from whether it be David Lawrence or St. Matthews. And so if there's anything or anybody here that would be willing to give me a call, let me know, get together, and we need some help.
The interesting point about this, I like where you're going with this, Michael, is you got kind of two different fields right here. You got for affordable housing, the setting over here, that we're talking about Habitat Humanity, we have homelessness. Right. Now we're trying to figure out how we can put both of them together to make something work out there. What can we do out there to get the people that are out on the street? I love it, the fact that I could go almost anywhere here in Collier County, sit down, and I'll be talking to somebody about some of the homeless situations we have out here, and somebody else at the table next to me or something. At least we don't have that problem here in Naples.
Right.
And it really blows me away, because you got your blinders on so bad. You think everybody out here has money, that they're able to make their lives work so phenomenal that we don't have it. You want to go out to Bay Shore, you'll find a lot of homelessness out there. In fact, they just tore down a big field out there to build this thing. So now the homeless people out there, I used to go on what's called rucksack marches with David Salerno with the Vet Center. We used to go out there and find people that we can help out, see if we can find any veterans out there. We found a lot of homeless people out there in their tents. In that community right down that street. It's right next to the downtown, and you'll see a couple of them walking there, but people don't realize they're homeless. They're out here. Look at what they're wearing, how they're acting, and what they need. See what you could do for them. Don't assume that everybody out here is just like you, that you have to make life work. A lot of people need help. I would never have met you until Veterans Day, Greg, and that's how it happened. Because you took the initiative at least to bring it out there and say, I'm homeless, my family and I need a hand. Somebody out there listen to me. And then we got to get that ball rolling. Ever since then, I think I've never been more proud of the way it's going that way. But thank you for being here to bring that up. Because I'm looking at, like I said, two different factors. We're looking for affordable housing, and we're looking for the homeless community. So we're looking at it.
I think the tough thing, Chief, with Habitat for Humanity is a lot of the people won't meet the qualifications that are homeless today. But I want to go back to what you said earlier, Chief. When we call the VA and we need to be seen for PTSD, or we need to get a checkup. You know, that's the first step. And that's even for our homeless brothers and sisters. A lot of them, like you said, Chief, get there because of it. And so, if we had a first step home, not just PTSD counts, but if we could come up with a home, a first step home, where a veteran can come in and shave and shower and put on a set of clothes before they go to get their PTSD treatment, before they go anywhere to do anything, I think is what Michael is talking about. And so, from the street, where did they go? They go to jail, because everybody calls the police. That's where they go. And we want to stop that. We want that first step to be from the streets into a shower, into a bed, into a set of clothes, and into a shelter, a house, or some type of mobile shelter. You know what I've done recently, Chief? We just rent cars, put them in cars. You know what the police do? They arrest them for loitering. In a car, Chief. We get them off the streets. We put them in a vehicle because we can't afford the hotel rooms here. But I don't want them sleeping under the stars. So we're trying to get that shelter, that first shelter, where we can bring them in, we give them their shelter, they shower and shave, put on a set of clothes, and go get the treatment from the VA, or get the treatment from a facility like this gentleman's offering. It'll be huge. But just to get the first home. How many homes are sitting empty tonight in this town? People don't even
Gentleman
live
talking
here
right
in a
now
home.
is the gentleman that's helping me
But
and Bob,
nobody
guys.
put up one of them for a veteran tonight. And so if we can make that first step, and I'm trying to help Mike however I can, and you guys are great help, everybody out here, Irene Johnson, everybody. We need a place to take a veteran tonight. We just need one. Because as soon as I go out this door, my phone's gonna ring, and it's gonna be 2 more homeless veterans. The sad thing about it is just like we were saying about the situation you're going through, and you mentioned the St. Matthew's House. St. Matthew's House, if you guys aren't aware of it, a lot of people that are homeless and they need assistance and stuff, they do rely on going to there, but unfortunately, they only have so much bed space. So a lot of times, it's almost like there's not enough room at the end. And sorry, you'll see them on the street until they can be put in there. And
Now,
it's the
Chief, they call me.
okay.
As soon as the veteran leaves St. Matthew's House, whether they've been kicked out, their time has run out, no matter what happens, I get a call. And those veterans have been coming to me, Chief. And I take them in my house.
Well, thank you very much for doing that. Is anybody out here, because I know we're short on time there, and a quick couple questions something. Does anybody have any questions for these two up here? Because this is a good time to get a question out
I
there.
don't have a question, but I have a statement, and to your problem, what you said, your problem, our problem, is a lack of awareness in this town for veterans in general. I turn on the news in the morning and I see a half an hour of puppies being pet, you know, I'm going, are you kidding me? You know, there's puppies, and that goes to what you're saying. Exactly. Awareness by our media, we do not have a friendly media here, in my humble opinion.
That's a good point.
For veterans.
That's a very
In Wink's
good point.
defense, I will say Wink News is probably the only
No,
one.
not Wink.
That will definitely support veterans. They've done it
Yes.
4 or 5 times for me, let alone honor flight.
Oh, yeah, no, I stand
They're
corrected.
good.
Not- Wink isn't on my station right now,
The gentleman over there with Habitat.
Yes, sir.
Is there maybe a program that we could have, maybe make a long building to house maybe 10 or 15 veterans that each have its own shower and have a community like
kitchen or something?
So the thing is, we have a very specific focus at Habitat.
Sorry for a good question. We just had a meeting at Habitat for Humanity about that. That's not their tradition, but they're definitely interested in talking.
That's what I wanted to see.
That's what they're definitely interested in talking about. Because of the community build, like Chief was talking about, there's a standard tradition of what they've done. But we're looking outside of that box so that we can do something just a little bit different.
Of course, once that happens, it has to be self-sufficient as well.
That's right.
To get some kind of government funding.
Well, we're gonna get that.
All right, I'm gonna look into that.
She was in the meeting, Jessica. She was there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. Anybody else have a question?
I would like to thank Michael White and Legacy Optum as their assistant at the Lake Trafford Memorial Cemetery for helping us to identify the grave sites of veterans and supplying us with headstones for those unidentified veterans. Thank you very much.
Now, before we come to a closeout here, I knew there was a couple of people that were sitting here that did want to say a few minutes, just a couple of minutes at a time, because I really do have to at least be out of here in the next 10 minutes. So if anybody has something else, Jewish war veterans in the very, very back, go ahead and stand up. If it's hard, tell them, just make it only a 2-minute time frame, please. And Frank, please, Frank, you have the time.
Thank you.
Here's what I'd like to say. Let me just find my place here. Okay, I think back of my early years at 7, 8, 9 years old, growing up in the Bronx in New York. And in school, I used to see kids with uniforms. They were Cub Scouts. And they made an impression on me. So I wanted to become a Cub Scout. Then I became a Boy Scout in 1964. We always pledge allegiance to the flag. We learned patriotism, and we did for kids, we marched and did everything that was great for America. I'm the commander of the Jewish war veterans, and we're always looking for interesting ideas. So what I came up with is, I have a granddaughter that recently graduated from school here at Gulf Coast. I always ask the question, do you salute the flag? Do you pledge allegiance? Some classes do. Does the principal announce anything? No. So the kids in this town are not taught to respect the flag and patriotism. And I have a few things. I'm going to go quickly. I received this. It's okay, class. I want to hear today. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. This is from a teacher. Now look around the room as some students are facing the flag, hand over heart, reciting the words of the pledge. Others, I note, are only standing because I demanded it. Not reacting and seemingly not caring. Gosh, Mr. Johnson, you sound like a social studies teacher, is the response when I tell the students nearly every day that they live in the greatest nation on the earth. They should show respect. So I have so much on this, which I'm not going to go through it, but it's, as veterans, okay, we have to get together in this community and get all the veterans groups to try to teach young people the history of this country, which dates back into the 1600s, when the Pilgrims landed, what we did growing up, and we're losing it. And what's happening now is this big left-wing socialist group is against everything that we grew up to and that we respect. And as veterans, I think this should be a fantastic goal for us.
Right. Now, we're at our 2-minute limit, but I want to say something really quick about what you're saying. The education of the American flag, I think, is very important, especially in all the schools, in grade schools, in junior high, and in high school. It should be something we should taught. It's a piece of history we should never lose. Those that decide to kneel at the national anthem, those that decide not to put their hand on their heart when it comes to the American flag, those that decide to live here in America should take to the fact that they should teach, and I really agree with what you're trying to say out there, so I appreciate you bringing this to a focus. And we will work on that more. We do a National Flag Day ceremony now, that's never been done with the Veterans Council, so we make sure that's done. So we will make sure that this gets
My
passed out
approach
there.
is, we have a meeting tomorrow, and I'm gonna bring this up, and I'm gonna push them to do something. And I want you to know that our new governor, DeSantis, from what I heard, is putting civics back into the class.
That's interesting.
To teach these kids what America is all about. And this is what we have to do. We're veterans, we've got to do things like this. Time is short. Thank you very much.
Thank you for getting it.
Thank you. I'm here representing the Gulf Coast Veterans and Friends organization. Jerry Sanford is usually attends this meeting, and he's our president, but he's not able to tonight. I came in here because I wanted to ask a question, and I'm so glad that I really lucked out that this was the night that Jerry Paulson and Michael were both speaking, because we have the opportunity to write a grant this week. And I've written fast grants before, I've been successful, so I think we can do it. But my organization wants to write a grant. The Gannett Foundation is offering grants right now, and the grant requests are due next week, from $5,000 to $25,000. They are interested in local programs, and my organization was very interested in issues with veterans, with low-income veterans and housing issues, but I thought, gee, that's a huge area, what specifically can I look at? But listening to the three of you, Greg and Michael and now I'm thinking that maybe what I should be aiming for is the short-term needs of low-income veterans who need a few nights in a hotel, right now, today. And how much would that cost? Or other really short-term, temporary fixes to help, our local people who are working on this whole issue of housing needs. But I came, also to ask you what you all think. And I've been hearing really what you all think already, but if anybody has anything else to enlighten me with before I start writing my grant on Friday.
You're on the right track. You are on the right track, and thank you very much for being here today. This is the importance about getting the information out there. You would have never known this until you came to one of the meetings to find out, but you got a lot of information passed in one meeting, and we do this every month. We get something new out here, so thank you. Anybody have a question for us?
I have a question. What about contacting the county or the federal government? Explain what's going on, get a petition and contact them and see what they will do for you.
Well, I started this week with Irene Johnson, who is agreeing to talk with me, and Habitat for Humanity, thinking those were the two places to start, because I know Irene talks to veterans all day long. I only talk to veterans on occasion, not that many. Today at lunch, I'm with the Women Veterans Group, and today I talked to some women veterans at lunch. Thanks, Erica, and everybody. But yes, there may be federal, state money. I don't know, but we didn't find out about this grant opportunity until just a few days ago. So I've got a really short time frame. I've got to think real fast and talk to people real fast and get some real concrete things that might fly. And what I'm hearing is that there's needs, right now, and maybe that's something that the Gannett Foundation would approve.
We absolutely need transitional, there's some HUD-VASH programs, some things that are transitionary, but exactly what you're saying, the process for the VA to get somebody pension, if we're lucky, and we're talking at least 30 to 45 days. So what are you doing with the 30 to 45 days? And that's the inner, St. Matt's House is sometimes the only option here in Collier County, and that's it. So that would be a wonderful contribution. As well as, the only other thing I can add is seniors. So we also have, people don't realize this, but we have homeless seniors who also need aid and attendance.
Yeah.
So that level of care as well, who are homeless, so
Yes.
those are the other things.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Thank you.
just to answer your question, there is over $1 million that comes every year from the VA under the SSBF program. And I want to cover two things here, Chief. You guys had that very important meeting this morning. And if you can get any message through to those guys, it would be accountability for SSBF program. Accountability for the SSBF program. That's over $1 million that goes to Collier County for homeless veterans and has been taken out of our community and being serviced from Charlotte County. We've been through it. Accountability for the SSBF program. You know what that covers? That covers hotels. That covers moving expenses, storage. That covers all of the things that we're talking about tonight. The immediate assistance is covered. But they got the grant and they got it in Charlotte County. They took it away from us. Now, they're supposedly serving us from Collier County. I have 9 veterans that they obtained their name, their information, everything about them, and they never received 1 penny from the people in Charlotte County. So ma'am, there's well over $1 million here, some of which we're gonna try to share with Habitat for Humanity, with Michael, with organizations like your own, but let's keep writing those grants this Friday. If you need help, I'll help you, man.
I think I pretty much got everybody that needed something to say. Anybody else that I missed? Okay, go ahead. Okay. Right, go ahead.
Okay. Collier Lee Honor Flight, I know you guys all know what it is. John is a big part of this. We've sent over 1,000 veterans to DC for their honor flights. Please go to collierhonorflight.org. Our next welcome home will be on May the 4th. We'd like to see a whole lot more support from our veterans. The welcome homes are getting very big. This is a good thing. Our next thing, please go to our Facebook page. We are having a honor flight gala on the 9th of November. Like, you can get all the information. The biggest thing is this. We're doing on Veterans Day, once again this year, the 50th anniversary Veterans lapel pin. Last year we pinned 651, including JB and a couple of others. This one we expect it to be bigger.
It's Vietnam, right?
Vietnam Veterans Service Day from 1 November 55 to 15 May 75. Our speaker, now this is free to everybody, including the public at JetBlue Park. We'll have a flyover. Our guest speakers are Joe Galloway. For anybody that does not know who Joe Galloway is, he is the correspondent that was in the movie, not the movie actor. We Were Soldiers. It's about him and Hal Moore, who basically most of the story was about. It's free. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West is going to be there speaking to our Vietnam veterans. Just come, bring your families. Welcome our Vietnam veterans home. Very nice. We want to see a lot of you there because it's about our veterans.
What I need you after this year is to get with Greg so we can make sure that if you can get a flyer out or whatever, we need to put it over onto our website on upcoming events. Also with Erica so we can get it posted out there to the email standpoint. But thank you for being there. But if it's really quick, I'm serious. They're
I'm just saying, if you'd like to volunteer, contact us. We're going to need a lot more volunteers.
We'll put it out there, Chief.
We definitely will. Yes, Fred.
Home base is coming up on their golf outing, family outing on March 9th. If you have a veterans family that wants to come out, please contact through the home base website. The other thing, Harv, my son was that kid. He didn't want to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. He didn't want to stand up for the national anthem. You know what he's doing today? He's a military police officer at Fort Hood, Texas. I didn't force him, he chose to go in. So, it starts with the family, not at the school.
Exactly, the family. But the
That's
schools,
all I have to say.
the schools are brainwashing.
Thank you, Fred.
kids. Thank you, Fred.
Say again?
The golf outing failed for veterans, correct?
Golf outing, they're still looking for veteran golfers and the dinner. I don't know if it's full yet, 'cause I don't run that side of the house.
Yeah, I just spoke with Monty.
Monica. Monique.
Monique. So it is full for veterans.
Okay.
There's a waiting list.
Good job. Also, if I could get Vale and Kyle to come on up here, you two.
Now,
Is that a college thing? If you guys could come up here. The Daughters of the American Revolution, what they asked me to do is every time we have one of our meetings out here, to pick two individuals out there that stood up for this country and do something really, really well. Because what they want to do is support you guys as much as they can. So they want to give you two $50 gift certificates for a Walmart gift card. So we appreciate it if you guys did something. With that, anybody else that has something that they want to bring up? Cadillac, go ahead. I gotta let the man speak. He's the one that's been here. How many years?
How many years I've been here, there have been so many great programs coming to this meeting. They're just phenomenal. But unless we come to the people who need them for this conversation, we must get the word out to the people who claim to help. I know we put a thing on the web. I don't know too many homeless veterans we've met with. Whatever it takes to get to the veteran who needs the service, we must get it to them. Thank you.
10 seconds, 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
The Jewish war veterans contribute to the Coast Guard Fund through the Lutheran Church, Pastor Don. Just to let you know.
Absolutely. You got that. That's really quick.
Okay, we're having our third annual Armed Forces Appreciation Day at Avow. It's going to be Friday, May 17th, 8 to 9 is breakfast, 9 to 10 is the ceremony. Our guest speaker is going to be Deborah Grassman, who's a nurse practitioner and served veterans at the VA for 30 years. She's going to speak about lessons that she learned from veterans. It's a free event. If you want information, please let me know. I have the flyers here. Thank you.
Absolutely, and remember, always get to Greg right there so you can put it on our upcoming events as well. Cool, all right? With that, I'm gonna have to get this to close out. I hate to be the bouncer that pushes everybody out the door, but the next Collier County Veterans Council meeting will be held March 20th, 2019, the third Wednesday of the month, at the same location, same time posted on our webpage. The adjournment is now at 20:41.
Talk up here, Clay. She's trying to get
Yes, awesome, thank you.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
And your children were absolutely delightful.
That's a long time for me not to speak. It's a long time. What's up, everyone? Thanks everyone who came and stayed and everyone who stopped by. If you guys come back and check this out, I appreciate it. Thanks, Danny Boy, for coming in. I appreciate it. What's up, Jerry Ackland? You get 2 strikes, motherfucker. Two, motherfucker. So what's up, guys?
What'd you think of that North Village Bay video, huh? We have some plans for them actually today. The gentleman that we are with, he got a call from the chief of police, called him back, and the chief literally said that maybe if we had shown those officers with a little bit of respect, they would have handled us differently. Wow. Hey, Judy Winder. So they're launching a full investigation into it. Jerry Ackland, just because I fucking smoked the shit doesn't mean my memory's shot. When he comes out, Juan Martinez. He was streaming live too. No, officers are supposed to put those fucking feelings aside and do their job. The simple fact that he goes, "Fuck you, motherfucker." He wanted me to fucking go back at him. He wanted instigation. He didn't know what the fuck he was fucking with. Listen, there's no problem with them fucking knocking on the door going, "Hey, everything okay with you guys?" "Yeah, sir, we're just, pulled over sleeping." You know? Semper Fine, MC Vet. Bye. You too. So, I'm gonna kill this one right here though, guys. Thanks for joining, thanks for watching. Appreciate all the love and support. It's alright, because we put assholes like that on YouTube. So. But, have a good one, guys. Thanks for joining. Talk to you later. More streams soon.